All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see a Slayer's puzzle up against Rain Artist in game number 2.
Oh yeah. So it looks like we have puzzle here in the top left, in the purple color, the color of royalty, as some people would always say. And of course, in the bottom right.
Indigo.
Oh, is it indigo?
Oh, indigo.
I have no idea, man. But we do see Artist here in the blue. Now he is down 0-1, and it is Antigua Shipyards. Now again, Gretorp, you're a Terran player, and you've been in this scenario so many times. But on a map like Antigua Shipyards, what can we expect really from Rain Artist coming out here?
All right, well, a lot of times it revolves around when you get your third base and checking for any all-ins. That's the number one thing that you do. You be careful because there's a lot of 2-base all-ins that can happen, but as long as you're keeping a vigilant eye on that time, you can go ahead and take a lot of map control with your initial 2 medevacs. I mean, that's the number one thing. The drop in the top right-hand corner is so powerful. It forces the Protoss to stay back a lot, and that gives you a little bit of time to get your third up and start that macro. So that's one of the most important things. Also, you do have to tend to go towards a more upgrade style type of opening rather than getting mass units. Mass units is good, but there are a lot of positions where Protoss can actually engage, and they're going to be an advantage. So you really can't get like beautiful positioning with mass units, like the huge surrounds, just because how the terrain is actually set up, how there's all these little nooks and crannies that you have to be careful about, and it obviously just doesn't power up the Terran concaves as much as other maps like Shakura's Plateau, where you have that nice big open area right outside the natural.
Yeah, so you know what? I mean, Puzzle is just definitely sitting comfortable, just like you were saying. He has a lot of options, especially when it comes to the mid-game. I'm looking for more of an upgrade style to come out and play, but unfortunately last game we just saw pretty much a very early rush, and it just ended in the end of the game. So we'll see if whether or not Artist can follow it up. He's opening up the same exact way as he did last time with an early gas. No gas is fast expand for him, and we do see that Puzzle is opening up very quick second gas here, and he's saving a lot of chrono boost.
Very interesting. Now, there's a lot that can be read into this. Obviously, it's going to be some sort of tech, or it could be some mind game expansion as well. We can see Artist hasn't actually checked out his opponent just yet. The second assimilator isn't actually being mined from just yet. There it finally goes. So Slayer's puzzle will be able to actually see what's going on. He's his second gas, and what that means is the range of his opponent is gigantic, but it's leaning more towards early game aggression than taking an expansion. If he takes an expansion room here, it's weakened by the amount of time that these probes have actually been mining gas and the assimilator actually coming up. So it's most likely not some sort of early aggression, or excuse me, not some sort of early nexus. What he has to expect is something like this Stargate play, or something like a 3-gate. There could be Dark Templars, there could be early Robotics Bay, whether that mean Immortals, Colossus, anything like that. The range is huge, and it looks like it's going to be Stargate this game.
Yeah, so that's actually really cool. We haven't seen too much of that early on, and you know, there's actually a lot of possibility. Oh, no, that's totally okay, man. We do see that a second gas from Artist as well, and he just has his factory. No doubt going to start his starport very, very soon, and there it is. And you know, this is a very typical classic style 1-1-1 coming out from Artist, so he intends on ending the game relatively quick. Now we do see chrono boosted Phoenixes out here, and you know, honestly, I mean, this build used to be kind of like a throwback. I mean, it used to be kind of thing, but it's been a while since I've seen 1-base Phoenixes right here, Gretorp.
Yeah, normally we don't see this whatsoever, but Phoenixes, wow.
Yeah.
That is really surprising. So it's going to be more of a harass type style. Obviously, he won't be as strong as something like Void Ray, where he can just get up in your face and do a lot of damage, get that charge going, and it's all great. This is going to be denying mules. That's basically what it's going to be doing. Saying, okay, you normally have this this mule advantage. I'm going to delete that completely. And does weaken Terran quite a bit at this early game stage. And here we go. The first 2 Phoenixes are on the way over. And he goes, come here, mule. Come here, mule. Nope.
Yeah, so it looks like he does reveal the Phoenixes. And, you know, Puzzle, he's still making Phoenixes, so he's pretty intent on staying on one base for a while. Now, how does Artist respond? He's just making more Marines and more Hellions. And you know what? He's just moving across the middle of the map here with his Marines and Hellions at this point. Now, we do see that Puzzle's trying to see if he can pick off some units, and if he any units he picks off here would be nice, especially because Phoenixes get those bonus damage on every unit down here. Yeah,
I don't agree with this push. I think this is probably the worst thing. Like, it's feeding into exactly what it's feeding into exactly what Puzzle is doing. Puzzle should be able to defend this relatively easily, especially because the medevac isn't going to do that much, and now that he has the Phoenixes, Guardian Shields are really strong in this position. There you go, picking up the 2 Hellions. He's going to focus down the 1 Phoenix, but only 1 Phoenix dies. Now a Sentry dies. That's a good trade overall, but you know, I'm not sure if, well, no, I'm positive this is not worth the cost that he put into it.
Yeah, he put in several Marines, a medevac, and a couple of Hellions, and we see in the end 14 units have been killed throughout this entire game. And, you know, that was a really good trade for Puzzle, and right now Puzzle also has map control. Normally when you see Hellions around, you can't really move out anything, and Puzzle can pretty much go into the Terran base. The only thing right now is that he's going to actually see a Raven very, very soon, and it looks like he's going to actually be forced back by Marines, though, before he can actually get inside. Yeah. I like that Puzzle's expanding, too. In fact, that's how confident he was to follow up that kind of defense with an expansion when he sees Marines and Hellions, and he's going to follow it with 4 more gateways. So in a couple of minutes here, Puzzle's going to be almost unstoppable here.
More importantly, like Puzzle knows exactly what his opponent is doing, because obviously he sees no command center coming up, and he sees the production, so he knows exactly how to balance his army composition. How many Phoenixes should he get? Are there any Banshees on the way out? Is there Cloak coming up? Obviously the answer to all those, no. And you know, from there he's just going to make, I would say, just very light Sentry for the Guardian Shield, Mass Zealot Stalker, and tech up to whatever he wants. He can go Robo or Twilight Council. In this position, he's going for Twilight Council. Oh no, the Raven dies!
Oh man, that hurts. That's 200 gas. That's a lot of time on your starport, and he's making another one. And you know that the accumulation of energy, just a lot of things have to do with that. It looks like Puzzle does end up throwing away the last 2 Phoenixes, but he sees, more importantly, the army is moving out here, Gretorp, so he's going to start massing up a lot of units. He is getting charge, which is a very instrumental upgrade to be able to hold off any kind of Marine and tank composition. But for now, he has to wait and be very defensive and try to stall for as long as possible, because as soon as that charge finishes, he's going to be pretty safe.
That's exactly right. Starting that charge starts an hourglass, and oh no, Artist! Oh god, he almost lost that 1 medevac. But yes, it starts an hourglass right now, or I should rather say a, what is that, 70-second glass. That's what that is. And look at these. Sentries can just wall off the whole time. You can just put up those force shields, and that's what he should do, in my opinion. Put up those force shields, wait for that charge, and he's all good to go.
No, actually, he's just going to concede the ground for a little bit, probably wait for some units to run up before he does, but he lets the siege tanks get into position right now, and Artist is going to go ahead and take that position. Looks like we see Puzzle still playing defensive, charge about to finish in a few seconds. He actually knows he's going to force field a lot of those Marines in, and the Guardian Shields are money. And Gretorp, it looks like Artist does have to eject out of this one, but there are so many units from Puzzle. He is absolutely devastating this very, very late and delayed 1-1-1, and it looks like Artist doesn't even have enough energy for a point defense drone and calls good game as Puzzle takes a very convincing 2-0-1 over Raid Artist.
That was easy peasy lemon cheesy, man. There's nothing else to say. God. A Puzzle just completely smashed his opponent. The Phoenix build was so weird, but it ended up being probably the most advantageous build that he could possibly done. Noticing the 1-1-1 or the 3-1-1 in this position come out, and not only that, being able to react accordingly, he also got amazing kills in that early game stage. I mean, like, Puzzle completely smashed his opponent. He was all the way up to, let me just check, I think it was 6 gateways, but still 6 gateways at that point. He had all Chrono Boost saved up, ready to go. He had Chrono Boosted charge lots on the way. Obviously, he was able to get in time. It was just everything worked out for Puzzle, and those Phoenixes just threw a huge wrench in his opponent's build. I still think that initial push, I mean, what does that accomplish? That's what I'm trying to think of. attacking with 8 Marines, 3 or 4 Hellions, and then a single medevac against a Phoenix opening, it really doesn't beat any builds. He went the build that maybe it would beat the most amount of times, but even that maybe is 20%, which is, by the way, the fast Nexus. I'm saying that because the Nexus takes away from the army count, and obviously gives a big timing for Marines, Hellions to do a little bit of damage, but still he wasn't able to do that. The cross position, the travel distance was just too much. So just kind of a weird build by Artis, in my opinion, especially if we're going up against Phoenixes, and you saw him pay the price.
I know, I absolutely agree. I think he was trying to predict what Puzzle would do, but ended up doing exact opposite. He stayed on one base. Usually that build, I tended to punish a really fast expand, because all you really have is a couple, like a sentry maybe or two, and a couple of units. And with medevacs, which makes your units very cost efficient, you're able to really punish it. And you know, he just ended up getting caught, and that's the whole idea of Phoenixes. And it's interesting because you don't see that kind of 2-gate Phoenix expand build too often, but Puzzle making it work, man.
It's like, what the heck is this? I was almost positive we were going to see something like Void Rays, because going Phoenixes, it really screws your build up quite a bit. And the reason why is because as soon as Terrans notice that it's actually Phoenixes, what they should do is immediately tech to Ghost. And it basically nullifies anything that the Phoenixes do, because you can EMP, and even if you're Graviton beaming a unit, if I EMP you, it's gone. It actually locks off of the Graviton beam. So if you do that, your opponent has to, or the Protoss has to either go into mass units on ground, which EMP does amazing against, or they have to go to something like Colossus. Well, they spend so much gas going Phoenixes, they need to redo all their tech. That's the Stargate, that's the Phoenixes that they get, that's a lot. And then, of course, they have to remake the robotic space, stuff like that. So, definitely, obviously, the Terran kind of played that a little bit off, but overall, congratulations to Puzzle for taking that win 2-0.